In this video, I'm going to share the right strategy to make AI content to read more natural, more human for SEO. Are we going to make it AI undetectable? No. How about more helpful and unique? Definitely yes. First and the most important, we need to have the right mindset. And the right mindset I'm talking about is that our goal should not be focused on bypassing the AI detector, but really focus on offering helpful and valuable content to our audience. So there are two reasons for that. First, Google is fine with AI content, and this has also been confirmed from its official gala in using AI content, rewarding high quality content, however it's produced, which means Google doesn't care your content score from those AI detectors. But if you're producing low quality, direct copy and paste that spam the search result page. So what really matters is your value added to your audience, and this is what I'm going to cover in this video. The second reason, who can 100% confirm the accuracy of those AI detectors? AI will only get smarter in mimicking the way humans write. So in the future, it's very likely there's no possible way to detect AI content completely. Even for those existing AI detectors, they're based on probability with lots of training data. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use these tools. They definitely give you ideas on the proportion of AI content perceived, but just don't use it as your end goal. And that's why the right direction is always providing values to your audience, but not pleasing the AI detectors. Lots of websites, they have used AI contents on the site, but still their SEO ranking and traffic is just working fine and even ranked for top positions. But don't get me wrong, personally, I think it's still too early to draw a conclusion if AI content can rank against human content. It's just too early to say that. But I tend to believe that even Google is still figuring out how to make a balance between them, so to make the search result safer and helpful. Now we have the right mindset. So what's the strategy? It is to know the existing weakness of AI so we can avoid that when generating the content, and same time to add the human elements to make it actually helpful to your target audience. The first step, do not ask AI to generate introduction and conclusion with CTA. And let me explain it. Usually for a typical piece of articles, it follows the structure, introduction, body content, conclusion with or without CTA. So the introductions is usually where you put the hook, and so it requires your creativity and perhaps a bit of personalized story to make it really engaging for the audience to continue reading. But the thing is, AI lacks of personality, emotion, and that's why it may not be always productive as you think to ask it to generate those paragraphs that requires lots of creative hooks. Just like this example, I asked ChatGPT to generate 200 words passage about how to start a digital marketing career, and you can already tell the introduction is generated by AI because it's overly formal, using words or phrases in an unnatural way, and that's why I recommend only asking AI to generate the actual body content without introduction and conclusion, but rather just ask it to give you some ideas or creative hooks to be put in the introduction. I would highly recommend you just craft a unique introduction by yourself so it makes the content much more engaging. The next step, ban the commonly used AI words. I call these words AI words because they often used in those AI generated tags because of the training data that they use. So these are usually transition phrases because AI tends to generate tags with perfection, and also some verbs which makes the text so ChatGPT and unnatural. So based on my own observation and research, so these are some of the words that often used by ChatGPT and Gemini as well. I've included links so you can download the list, but I encourage you to create your own list of banned words based on your own observation and where it fits to your own writing style and tone as well, and keep it updated. So in this prompt, ask ChatGPT to not use any of these words when generating the content. Note that sometimes even you have given the instruction, ChatGPT or Gemini may still keep using some of these words, but from my testing, it's definitely way better than not including this in the prompt. The next step is to ask AI to use simple human language or simply your writing style. The first way you can include this in your prompt, so to ask it to use simple words in human language. Avoid using any technical and industry-specific jargons, acronyms, and complicated sentence structure. Do not make it overly formal and robotic. Do not use too much passive voice. Vary the sentence structure and length in the output. So you can see the output is much more natural than the previous version. It's more direct, more human and natural. And the second way you can do it is to ask ChatGPT or AI to mimic your writing style and tone. What I suggest is, instead of pasting the whole passage or writing samples all together in a prompt, ask it to analyze your writing style and and tone first by fitting it with some writing samples, so you can include that in your final prompt. I recommend you fit at least 300 words of writing samples for it to learn your writing style and tone. And the more the better, so it can learn your writing patterns. And a tip here is to make sure this writing sample is completely written by yourself. They are the best pieces of your writing, so you can make sure the output really aligns with your own writing style. For example, I have this sample writing that's written by myself, is over 1,000 words, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to analyze it first. Below is a piece of content written by me, help to analyze the writing style and tone of this content. Output your findings in bullet points, and then paste your writing samples. Then you can see ChatGPT will output what it noticed in my writing style and tone. It's informative, advisory, persuasive, so these are the keywords we want to put in the final prompt for ChatGPT to follow. So copy them. Then you can paste back these patterns ChatGPT noticed in your final prompt. When generating the writing output, follow the writing style and tone. So you can see from the output, ChatGPT is trying to follow the style and tone it analyzed. But I would say in order to get the best result, you will need to fit a lot of writing samples to ChatGPT in the first place, so it can more accurately describe it. So I would say overall, asking it to use simple human language is still the key, so the output will sound more natural. But that's not the end yet. So here comes to our next step: adding supporting media or data. Again, our goal is not bypassing the AI detectors, although it may seem to make sense, but to make it helpful so we're able to build connections with the audience. So we're gonna ask ChatGPT or AI to indicate from a draft any areas we can include any data, charts, image, tables, and we can use this prompt. For each section or points, indicate the areas I should be adding the data, charts, tables, or image, and give me the ideas of what are they in order to supplement and elaborate those points. So you can see from the output, ChatGPT gives me ideas of what kinds of additional data I should be adding and where I should be adding them, so to make it more helpful. So this is when I suggest you to use your own judgment and to review that if the suggestions make sense, and then prepare the data accordingly. You can either quote some statistic from external reports, quote from other industry experts, or even tables or screenshots that within your own knowledge. If you have ChatGPT Plus or other AI writing tools, you can even ask it to generate image. Personally, I still prefer using stock images because I think it fits my audience better, is more aesthetic, and it won't take me too much time either. There are some free stock image sites I recommend, like Unsplash, Pixels, so I'll include the link below. So now you can see we've added the supporting data or images, and it's much better. But it's not done yet because we're gonna add the human elements as part of our strategy. And these are the elements that are completely human without any use of AI. And this is super critical because ultimately our audience wants valuable and helpful content. And this will for sure help you in the long run. So I classify these elements into two main areas. So first, your own perspective and opinion. So what's your thought on the subject matter or on each point generated by the AI? So do you agree or disagree? So use example based on your own understanding. If that's a review about a product or service, then add your own insights. Second, that's your own experience. If you have any personalized story or experience related to that subject or each section, if that's about how to become a digital marketer, so I can mention some of my own experience to supplement those points. You can add some personalized story with emotional touch, so to make it even more engaging. And this is very important because we want to make sure the content is unique and actually helpful to the audience by building a genuine connection. So including the you factors in the content will make a huge difference. So what I suggest is to review every point or sections in the draft and then add these two types of human elements whenever possible. If you really don't have an idea where to put your own perspective, then you can also ask ChatGPT or AI to add a first-person point of view and to make it sound even more natural and as if you're talking to your audience. You can even ask it to generate some personalized stories to illustrate some of the points. So you can add this to your prompt, asking it to use first-person point of view using I, myself, me. Personally, I wouldn't recommend that unless you really can't think of any or just want to get some ideas, because I do think most of the time you should have some thoughts or perspective or experience to add to that topic. Of course, always review the output and check if that sounds logical and really relevant to your own experience or otherwise adjust it. Now you can see the draft is much more human and natural. And the three more bonus. If that's a long passage or article, try to ask ChatGPT or AI to generate it section by section rather than asking it to generate the whole draft all at once, so you can control the output quality in more detail for those elements that we have mentioned. Second, make sure to include an author's or editor's name with bios to the articles. This way, it helps to establish the trustworthiness of the article. Although there's still lots of factors that Google used to determine the overall quality, but it definitely helps to have this include than doesn't, because it gives signals to Google that the article has been reviewed or edited by a real human. And third, be mindful of the posting frequency. Again, the biggest concern from Google is not about if you're using AI or not, but if you're producing a huge amount of low quality AI content that spam the search result page and exceeds the typical logical range, which means, for example, if you're producing over 300 or even thousands of articles and submit to Google within a week, then definitely that's a red flag. Also, you should consider your target audience preference as well, and that comes back to how you craft your content strategy at the first place. So check out my other video, I'll include the link below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to my channel so you will see more content like this. See you soon.